That's an awesome intro. Hey, everyone. How are you doing? Great. Okay. Hey, everyone. How are you doing? I mean, at least Stefan, who organized the whole thing, was the first one to say he's doing great. And I know you were out till like 4 a.m. So I bet a lot of you were out late. Thank you for being here. I'm going to talk to you about leadership greatness. It's going to get a little deep, so I hope you're ready. And I'm going to start with the basic question of what is greatness to begin with, right? If we're going to talk about being a great leader, what the hell is being great? Well, is it accomplishment, right? Do you accomplish something in your life that you can point to? Maybe it's impact. Maybe you change thousands of lives, right? What I'm going to say is that can anyone, in fact, be great if they don't know what their purpose is? Right? That's the question I'm going to ask you. And so, you look at some of the great people who've existed throughout history, and I'll throw a few on screen, and it's pretty clear what their purpose is just by seeing their image. I don't need to tell you their name, and you know exactly what their purpose is, right? What they were doing in the world, the impact and the accomplishment all came from their purpose, right? And so it's that easy that you can just see the image of these people and you know immediately what their purpose is. So I'm going to be talking to you not necessarily about leadership greatness, but about what is your purpose, right? And so a lot of people here today, we've been talking about blockchain and fundraising and ICOs. Do you think your purpose is to make money, right? Maybe it's to have a career, because there's certainly a lot of professionals that were on stage yesterday and today in different positions. Is that really your purpose? Maybe it's to build a family. Certainly seems a lot more logical than the other two. Nobody ever had a gravestone inscribed with, "He made a lot of money." In fact, I looked very hard for a long time, hoping that I could find an actual image of a gravestone with quotes of money, and there were none. At least according to Google and extensive searching. So I made one. So I think we all have a purpose, okay? I'm pretty certain we all have a purpose. And it's not clear, right? It's not tattooed on your arm. And again, by the way, finding a tattoo with purpose in it was super rare as well. In fact, this is even a reach. So yeah, you don't get a tattoo when you're born with your purpose and then sort of grow up and are like, can read it. And thank you. I'm going to be a ICO specialist. Sorry. Too easy. So when you find your purpose, I think you will find greatness. You will achieve the greatness of some of the images that you saw on screen. And I think humanity is in a really, really tough spot right now. You know, I don't want to say, I thought long and hard about how to convey the message I want to deliver today to you. And you can start with all this fear and say, look how fucked up things are. And they are fucked up, right? And I could tell you that, but you know it, right? So I'm not going to tell you how fucked up things are, but I definitely believe we're in a tough spot. That's my belief. I also believe that we must try, each one of us, to make the world better. And that's the only way that it is going to get better, is if we try genuinely. And when you see your purpose, I believe the world will get better, right? Because when you are doing what you have been set here to do, that's when you achieve greatness. That's when the world gets better, for sure, in my opinion. And the world, again, needs to get better. There's so many, the lovely car presentation before he's exactly right. We're putting vehicles that are thousands of times more waste than an iPhone into landfill within a few years. And that's just insane. So congrats on some of the great ideas that were on stage today that are trying. And I believe that when someone like that gets up, they're showing you what their purpose is, right? And that's beautiful. So the journey towards this starts with each one of us, with you, right now. If we better ourselves, we will better the world around us. Now, I thought long and hard about how to convey this to you. And I believe the process of making the world better starts with purpose. And to some extent, you need to be asking why you are here. Like, why are you here? Not right now, but in general on this planet. What are you doing with your life? And your life orbits around a meaning, okay? I believe that you have a meaning in your life, this purpose, and you're kind of orbiting around it. So you want to see where this purpose is. So you must make a series of changes in your life to see what that purpose is. Unless, of course, you know what it is right now. Of course, that's a different story. Change your partner, right? Change your job. Change your city. Change your role. What you're doing, what you think you're doing, what you think your purpose is. And let your heart lead you on this journey, right? And let your mind follow behind. Your heart is the guide, and your mind is the steering wheel, if you will. And you will find your purpose. Now, this journey is ongoing. I'm going through it as well, so I'm going to take you through my own journey because, again, I was thinking, how do I show you the journey that I've been through or help you go on that journey to find your purpose? And I said, okay, probably the easiest way is just to tell my own story. So I'm going to tell you my story to find my purpose. So that's a younger version of me, happy, dorky as always. I have even younger photos, and I have more hair. Hair is something that the journey has dispensed with, in my case. So it's been a rather long journey. But when I had a lot of hair and I was young, I wanted to be an architect. So I left my parents, moved on to a commune, studied under a gentleman named Paolo Soleri, was building the city of the future because I felt I could design a better world. I went to architecture school, and I was a 4.0, a perfect score, the first perfect score in the architecture school's history. I was a Rhodes Scholar, and then I died. Literally, I died. I don't talk about it very often. This is certainly the first time on stage that I've ever brought it up. And I came back, clearly, or maybe, depending if you ask Elon if it's a virtual simulation or not. At least I think I came back. And I had clarity. There were choices that I made. Do I want to sort of buy into the way things are, or do I want to change the way things are? And I decided to change the way things are. So I went into business. But I went into business specifically to change things. So I didn't like the fact that the world was controlled. So I started a publishing company. We ended up selling that for about $750 million. And then I was like, the internet needs to be bigger. So I built a large internet integrator, which we took public for about $1 billion, a little over. So by the time I was 27 years old, I had created about $2 billion in shareholder value. Now, that was a lot of money back then, so I was the wealthiest person I knew by far. But it didn't have any meaning. So I had all this success, but it was meaningless. And I had done things that changed the world. So I really didn't have a purpose, but I started to have skills. Like I knew what I was good at, and I also knew what I was bad at. So I had an awareness of certain attributes. And this goes back to you're orbiting around this purpose or this thing, and you have to find it through a series of changes. So I decided, I threw everything aside, and I said, I'm going to try and help people awaken. So I joined the board of the X Prize because I figured, hey, if we do something really big, and I funded the X Prize, if we do something really big that people could be like, whoa, private people took humanity to space, that would wake people up. And I kept trying these things, and I went into video games, and I said, I think if we can create a sentient being in video games, that might wake people up. So I just started like working on projects to try to wake people up. And I got attacked. One of my board members went kind of insane. He fired a gentleman named Elon Musk from my board. He replaced Elon with his son, who was not as competent as Elon, for sure. That was super awkward. And so I decided to leave that and start something called the Funded and working with entrepreneurs. And that led me to starting something called the Founder Institute, where I was helping entrepreneurs, helping people achieve their dream, and helping people pursue their passion and hopefully find their purpose. So at that point, I started to fund. I had a reset moment about 2 years ago where it really brought me down to my core. And it said, why am I here? What am I doing? And I realized at that moment what I'm here for. I'm here because I want to help you, right? That is my purpose, to help you realize what your purpose is, right? So if I can help you today awaken, right, and start on a journey to see your purpose, then I have achieved my purpose. I have succeeded. That's my path to greatness. And I hope that I can help you on your path to greatness. So I ask you to think about what your purpose is, because I think you can do great things. I've seen it. I know it. I've seen it in my own story. So let's be great together. All right, I'm out of time, so thank you, everyone.